Crystal.
I'm Darcy.
I'm Jen.
I'm Allison.
And the knitters are here. We thought we'd try something new today. See how that works out for us.
You like it.
Well, it's December and
It's sunny and not snowing.
so sad.
Why is that sad?
Sunny's good.
I can drive
I went
around
the snow.
now.
I
went
say,
the snow.
I like
I like
sunny.
sun.
If it's going to be cold, I want it to have snow.
Oh.
Bingo.
Mm,
Absolutely.
And I'm over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, over it.
But I like sun. I mean, I guess if there could be snow if I can have sun too. Is that asking for
There
too
can
much?
be snow if there is no snow on the roadways.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm good with
All
that.
There can be lots of snow, just not on the road.
Because
Ever.
that's ideal knitting weather.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
when I see the forecast and it looks like a terrible weather day, I said it's 100% chance of knitting that day.
That's
Okay.
true.
So that's how I look at bad weather forecasts.
Okay.
It's all about knitting.
That's true.
It's all about knitting. So it's been a couple weeks since our last podcast. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. And here we are, full-blown holiday season. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like every special event is happening today. And today is December 7th.
It's D-Day.
A little bit of honor, not a little bit, but a lot of honor to those who were involved in D-Day.
My
And
grandfather.
thank you. Yeah. So lots of service folks out there who have family members, and we just appreciate all that they did for that. It was intense. So, but lots of holiday. I know we've got a Christmas concert with the grandkids tonight, and it seems like there's a cookie thing downtown. And
Oh,
there's,
is there? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there's just there's everything that's happening holiday-wise is today. So
No,
We're
there's
part
house
of that.
cleaning and
no, we're part of that though. We're part of that special
Oh, I didn't
celebration
forget.
of everything going on today. So I am just like mumbling
For
here.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So happy holidays for everybody and all that they celebrate during this time of
Merry
year.
Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas and almost. We'll talk about New Year
New
later.
Year. Yeah. Don't rush it.
So we're just gonna hop right in
Yeah.
and talk about finished objects, and we'll start that way.
I don't have anything that I finished since the last podcast, but I am wearing a Turtledove, which was designed by Melissa Klulaw from Espace Tricot. And this was our New Year's cast on last year. So I'm wearing mine, yes. And I wore mine, oh gosh, a while ago, like within the past month. And my mom came over and she saw it. She's like, I like that sweater. I'm like, oh, this is one I made. She's like, I want one in red. Okay, Mom. So I will get to that later because that's my whip.
I see that on yours you extended the collar.
No, this
Or
was
did
this was the regular collar. I just folded it down because my neck is short.
Well, and I was
So-
thinking about that this morning about this collar. It's like it either needs to be longer so I can tuck it all in, or it needs to be shorter or something.
Mine always
you can
rolls
adjust
so-
that.
It's like
We can
This
rip
was
that
our
back.
this was
This is
our
our
first
We're
sweater.
all about ripping
yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, this was our first sweater, so we followed the pattern.
no deterring from the pattern. I think there
Yes.
were lots of emails to Jen. What is a German short row? How do I do that?
No, just do it. Watch the video. Just do
I
it.
don't know.
Well, I
cursing
remember
about it.
Jen saying, "Oh, I learned how to do German short rows. They're really easy. Don't worry about it. It's okay."
And then we get to it and we're like, what? I have no idea how
You
to
just
do
gotta
it.
do it. You just gotta do it.
And
I
once
think
I did
remember
it, it
throwing
was
the whole
so
thing at my
easy.
husband going, I can't, I don't know, forget it. I'm not gonna have a sweater ever.
I remember those conversations
Yeah.
because we were supposed to all knit it together, and I got really super excited about it on New Year's Eve, and I casted it on, and I
Had it
was
finished that evening?
flying through it, and I had just gotten my Apple Watch that
Yes,
Christmas.
yes.
And at the end of the evening, my husband's like, "Are you done yet?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to bed." And I put it down, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I have been sitting on my tush all day." So I went to look at the lack of activity on my activity counter. I had 24.2 miles clocked for knitting this thing because it was big needles, big yarn. I'm like, just 2 more miles and it would have been a marathon. And Dave's like,
you didn't
go
just
to bed,
and
go
sit
to
down and
bed.
finish to get that.
Because they
That's
kept
how we are
texting like,
running.
okay, I'm on row 4. And I'm like, I can't tell them where I am.
I'm almost done.
Because I just couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop.
Well, and you were on Christmas break.
Yes, I was.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm a
so-
teacher, so.
We were still working.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
that
There's
regular
no
job
Christmas break.
things.
Yeah.
But I have to just do it. You want to sing it with me? 2 turtle doves. And a partridge in a pear tree. They walked in and I'm like, oh my gosh, 2 turtle doves. So cute. So sorry, I hopped
That's
onto
okay.
your train.
That's okay.
I'm off
That's
now.
okay. So that's basically all that I have finished since we last were together.
Okay. All right.
Oh, and mine is the turtledove as well.
I don't know if they can see your cute little pom-pom.
And my hat.
Love the pom-pom.
So it's a pom I got. It's 100% real alpaca.
Let's see if we can get up there. A little bit closer so you can see all those beautiful stitches.
And then I had several orders. So I made a couple duplicates. This little dinosaur head.
That is so cute.
It's just not the cutest thing ever.
Adorable. It's really cute.
So,
Got it? All right.
long-armed person.
Yeah, but I'm going to let Allison do the next one because she's getting my tush.
So,
She
that is
should go around.
called Tiny Dragon Hat
Oh.
by Little Red Window.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, I had a lady ask for this for her little boy.
I love this pattern because there is what appears, I would think that's a little girl's
Girl
dress
going by
wearing
the
it.
shirt,
And
yeah.
I love that it's not that stereotype of, oh, it's a boy's hat.
Right.
It's a hat for dinosaur lovers.
Absolutely.
So I must say that the stitches on this, it's a backwards yarn over and then a slip it over,
I love that stitch, that
which
texture.
is fine. It's just time consuming.
Yeah,
I'm trying
okay.
to, you knit to slip it over.
Oh, but
knit
it looks
to
like
slip
scales.
it over. It does.
It's great.
so
and it wasn't
adorable.
until you got to the crown that it got really fiddly.
Okay.
And I kept losing track of did I knit two together or did I slip one?
Yes.
Which one was it? And I'm looking at the stitch trying to read the work, and so that was a bit annoying.
Good job.
But other than that, it was really
It is
cute
adorable.
and easy.
Very nice.
The other thing I made is someone asked for a big pom-pom hat.
Oh, that's great.
So look, it's so big and chunky and floppy.
Oh my gosh, that is a huge pom pom.
It's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
They wanted a big pom-pom, and well, that's it. My sweater's making me itchy.
Wow.
And then the other thing that I've been working on that I've had ordered for are these little ballerina slippers. So they,
Oh, that color.
Little
Oh, that is
tiny.
the perfect color.
and it's got the little tie so you can tie them. So they're called knot baby shoes because you're supposed to tie them in a knot. But to me, they look like ballerina slippers.
They do.
So I've got a couple orders for those.
Sweet.
Oh my gosh. That color is so perfect.
My husband called it naked skin color.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm like,
that-
well,
So you
You're
went
not
on to make
wrong.
a sweater out of
It's
that
a
and wear
little-
it with those
you are
leggings?
not wrong.
I'm like, it's a little pinker than my skin, but you know,
Wear 'em with the naked
whatever.
leggings.
And then this
Oh,
little
yeah.
hat to go with it.
That is so
Oh,
cute.
I like the purl and the knit.
So yeah, this is by Tin Can Knits. And it's called Barley. So it comes in a range of sizes. So
And is that a free pattern on Ravelry?
it was,
feel like it
I
might
think
be.
it was, but I'm not 100%
I was
sure.
just looking at hat patterns for Bella and that showed up and I clicked free. So
And it
might be.
was obviously really simple because it's just knitting and purling until you got to the top of the crown. And then it had you trying to do, you had to place a marker and do something to get it to do the twist.
Ah.
But within the purl section, the twist doesn't really show up as much as I think it should. So
Wow.
Very
Yeah.
adorable. And now you're doing another set of these in.
yeah, so I'm doing another set of these in pink and black. I don't know why
Pink and black.
but
Okay.
Pink and black or,
Or
a set
a
that's
set
pink and a set
set
that's
of pink
black?
and a set
Oh,
of
okay.
Okay, no, because I was there too. I'm like, pink and
Yeah.
black.
the same pink, or are you using a different pink?
I started it in the same pink
Okay.
because the person that ordered it had already ordered something else in one of the same pinks. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So, Pearls and Peacocks knitting is on fire, huh?
On fire. And I worked 10 plus hours of overtime this week. And I'm still trying to get this in between it all. So
Oh my gosh.
Wonder Woman.
not angry staff member. Yeah, that's me.
But the
Angry.
knitting keeps you from killing people.
That's right. And it's good that they're not near me because Those needles, they're sharp.
And there are health
There
codes.
are codes.
There
yes.
are codes for that. There are medical codes for that.
ICD-10.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So,
So what do
I
you got?
have not knit this. Actually, I think I have knit this, but not since the last podcast. This is like 2012. This was like kind of one of those, oh yeah, I can knit. And I made a whole bunch of sweaters a long time ago. And
Oh yeah, piles.
Yeah.
Piles of sweaters.
so this was originally Dave's, but you know, he's
want me to pull
smaller
that
than
down
I am,
No,
but
I
it's a
want it
little
to-
long, and the sleeves, like you could tell, I didn't do measurements or anything like that. So I probably stuck to the pattern, but I love it. He doesn't wear it a whole lot, so I do, but it's a free pattern on Ravelry. Would you say that's Radari? Radari. So I just love color work, and this is just stuff I got from Joanne. So it's the Lion brand and patent wool. So I do need to wear something underneath it because it is
Itchy.
a little itchy.
Yeah, so is the
So, but it's just one of those cozy sweaters, and love that. I started to do some gift knits, and so. Well, actually, I'm not going to hand this to Allison because it looks so much better from a distance because it's my first intarsia. So unless Allison holds it like this
Okay, I'll
and
hold it like that.
cover the edges,
Ouchie.
I don't like the edges, but the
She's already
center
I will
saying
do
she's
as
gonna
instructed.
tear it out.
yeah, it's my grandson Ezekiel loves Batman, and if you're near him and you go na 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 and you pause, he goes Batman. So this is for Zeke, and then
Oh, look at the little nubby part.
I know the yarn I
Bat
had
ears.
won in the Discovery Yarn Tour, the Pollock. I think I kept so it was a mini set, so there were 5 minis, and I had to strand them together. This is the Copycat Beanie. I wrote it down.
CC Bun Hat?
CC, yeah, by Clementine Knits and Crochets. So I did the messy bun. And it talked about like cutting a hair tie and slipping it in. I just
didn't
grabbed
do
my
that.
crochet hook and just went at it and just figured out how to cover it.
I did
Nice.
not put the elastic in them.
Yeah.
Actually,
Because
that's
I had
really nice.
some
I could
girls
see.
that ordered them did not like it
Okay.
I
because
think it's a great idea.
the elastic band, they stretched it so hard that they tore the yarn.
Oh wow.
They must have really big.
Yeah. So I'm
Thick
hoping
hair.
because I'm assuming
When
she'll
they're sticking their
do a
hand through the
ponytail
top
Well, I
first.
watched one girl do it, and she put both hands in here, and she stretched the heck out of it, and went like this, and grabbed her ponytail, and then pulled. I'm like, what are you doing? That is not how you put that on. And she's like, well, that would explain why all this ripped out. Like,
Yeah.
It's not elastic so that you can stretch the whole hat wide open, which is what she kept trying to do. So I stopped putting elastic in there to avoid anybody breaking their hat.
And I was really happy. I did. Is that provisional or yes? So that was fun to do the live stitches and then hook them together. I was so happy that it made such a neat edge. So I can't wait to try
Nice
that
thick
again.
brim.
Yeah. So hoping. I mean, I think I like these hats better in a solid color than I do in the speckle. But I've seen a couple done in speckle. So if she wears it, she wears it. If not, no big deal. And then that's
You
for
could even
Willow.
do just like the spacing in between
That's
in
true.
a speckle.
All right, now I gotta
that's a
rip
good
that
idea.
one out. I've ripped so much out lately. I'm like, oh.
Jen and I are big on ripping things.
We are. Oh my gosh, I should
Grow
just.
to love it the way it is.
It adds character.
Yes, I meant for it to be like this.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
I don't know, if I could get this on my head, I would.
Oh yeah.
Well, do they have different sizes?
No.
Oh. You
So,
could
Yes,
what,
but
so
no.
what child's size is that supposed to be?
child?
That is I did 12 month.
Okay.
Oh,
And it runs small because it's, float.
It's it's not a real
true.
giving.
Well, I guess if you did it on a huge needle, you
But-
could get it bigger.
Whatever. Sorry.
No. So when I was going through the basket of all the yarns that came in that Discover Yarn basket, my granddaughter's with me. So Willow immediately said, I don't care what you make. I want this yarn. I love this. And then Bella had grabbed the other ones that she liked, and she had wanted a triangle scarf. So this is also a free pattern. It's called Memories of Juno.
I like that.
So it was my first
This is when
time
Sierra started.
Yes.
You,
okay.
you found it for her.
experiencing like fade, and I didn't know which order to put these two. Like I feel like now they should have been reversed, but I guess it doesn't matter,
I don't
right?
think it
doesn't.
matters.
Because
If you'd done
these-
it the other way, you probably would have thought you should have.
Yeah,
Right.
because they
Right.
just, you know, and she said she didn't want green, but she wanted blue, and she liked those. And I said, are you okay with like a tealy or turquoise? She goes, yeah. So hopefully, I mean, I'm sure she's gonna be fine with it. So
And what
that
ages
was-
are the girls?
Bella's 12, and she, in fact, when she was here for Thanksgiving, she wants to learn how to spin. I have a spinning wheel.
Wow.
I used to be able to do it. I talked to Kathy over at Black Locust, and I'm like, I think it's operator error. I'm not able to get it to work.
Problem is between the seat and the keyboard.
Yeah. So I'm taking it over to Kathy and just having her look at it, and then I'm gonna try to figure out how to spin because she wants to spin. She's very like crafty. She wants to do stuff. She
I love
just
that stuff.
had me like send her
Right.
patterns
Well,
because
and
she
you
wants
never know if you
hats.
like
And how
something
old
until
is
you
this
try
little?
it.
10.
10.
10,
All right.
and she loves the messy buns. So I've got all 3 of those, and then I'm trying to work on my mittens for their mom, which is I don't have that because it's little needles and my hands aren't doing
Yeah,
well.
my hands are starting to cramp up too.
Then no, that's not a finished object. I'm already going into my whip, so I'm gonna put that away. I think that is it for my finished objects.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm wearing a finished object that I finished actually
Gorgeous.
right before the last podcast, I think. This is actually a free pattern from Drops called Blue Nostalgia. This slit was actually meant as to be in the back. This was supposed to be a slit in the back, and I decided I wanted a Henley. So I did
Okay.
that and then added the little pattern here.
She,
then added
I
the
love how
collar.
she just improvises all her patterns. Like she gets a pattern, she's like, nah, I like the way that it is here, but I'm gonna change the whole
My
rest of this.
improv comes because of mistakes.
Right, right.
Not like, oh, I want a design element versus, oh,
But
we're
I
gonna put a
mean,
design element there.
So
That's
this
pure
is-
talent that you can
This
do
is
that.
Flying Designs yarn. It's a lovely DK.
It's Flying Designs by Allison.
Yeah.
I love the lace that
Yeah.
you've got there.
Mhm.
Was that an
And for-
easy repeat after a while, or?
No.
Oh,
I
not
was
doing
hoping
it.
you'd say yes.
Not doing
No.
it.
We were talking about ripping out? Yeah.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely
that
don't do that in
supposed-
the car, right? No, in the car.
Was it supposed to be long and you just had enough of it and stopped there, or was that the pattern?
No, that's where it was supposed to be.
Okay, I was because I could see
Well, and
myself
you
going,
made
I'm
it
not
in-
doing it anymore.
You made it into a Henley too, which is
Yes,
also a
I made it into
3/4.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
So I have been busy. This is another free pattern called Declan's Hat. And the pattern gives you all sizes, which is really nice. It's a free pattern.
It's called Jen's hat.
Oh, like the way you have it on there. Let me warn you that this is for my son.
Oh,
Will
sorry,
never watch
son.
this-
Okay,
never
good.
watch this podcast.
All right.
But anyway,
I took a
he
shower
has
this
an
morning.
extremely large head,
Okay.
as his father has, and normally cannot find hats to fit him. The size large will fit him, so if you make this by chance, just beware that the
It
large
runs
is
big.
extremely large.
And plus, that ribbing is so forgiving in
It
the sense
is.
it
It
grows.
is.
Yeah.
But it's a great pattern because it does have all sizes in it.
That's cool.
And it's free.
This hat, I'm writing that one down. I like that.
This is for my little grandson, Malcolm.
Aww.
Malcolm. The kitty kitty.
We gotta see that kitty. Look at his little
So
hat.
he loves cats.
Oh, it's a cat pattern.
Yeah.
So this part is from a pattern called Temple Cats. And I think it originally started out as a yarmulke pattern. And then I added this part here. The little kitty is from a Top that you can buy little kits to make kids' hats, and it comes with kind of yucky wool, but they're really cute little tops, and you can get all kinds of like sports things and all kinds of animals and giraffes and whatnot. So that's for little Malcolm.
She's been busy.
I've been busy.
Got a
Well, I
cute
was here.
bag.
I was here at the last pod.
Oh,
I made a running skirt.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
To put
You
over
were
my
working on that when we
Literally
saw you
a
last.
skirt to wear while she's out running.
yes. And
Over her tights.
It's
keep her
called
legs
the
warm.
Bryn Mawr skirt.
I like that pattern.
nice. What did you use yarn wise? This is really good yarn.
This is Barocco's Katina.
Oh, I like it.
And it-
it's a,
it has
you
a
put in a
fake
little
color.
leather.
Yeah, I cheated on the waistband. I just put in this little thingy and
Yeah.
Yeah. But you need that to cinch it up.
so
And then, what is this, seed stitching? Looks.
Yeah, the bottom is
Seed
seed
on-
stitching,
little
and then the
side.
cables, and
Yeah, I like it.
Seed stitch cables, just a little thing she whipped up. Oh my gosh.
She's gonna wear it running.
I
love
have been
that.
looking at skirt patterns
Yeah.
ever since she showed us the pattern. The color is, I could see you with your black running leggings.
yes, there we go.
Oh my gosh, the most stylish runner in Medina County.
Yep.
All right. Scoot
All
back
right,
in. You
scoot
got
back
out
in.
there.
I'm out.
All right. Is that it?
For finished objects, yes.
And in
You've been
between all
traveling
of
a
this,
lot.
she
I
went
haven't.
to Scotland.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so that gives you lots
Seattle.
of
and
knitting
Seattle,
time, because
yes.
I went to a knitting
Plain
thing from So Much
knitting.
Yarn in Seattle, out at Whidbey Island, which was fun.
Wow.
And then I also went to Scotland, so there's lots of plain time to knit. So.
Nice.
Yeah, that plane ride to Scotland's a long one.
Now I've heard a lot of people talking about traveling with knitting. Like, how do you do your needles? Like some people,
Okay.
yeah. Tell me what you do.
So, in the United States, it's no longer a problem. You can have needles, whether metal or wood.
But getting into
Back.
it. Okay.
Getting back
Getting
in.
back can be a problem. It used to be that you couldn't bring knitting needles at all from Britain, so I would put my wood needles along the edges of my carry-on as if they were part of the structure of the
Okay.
That's
If you
smart.
work for TSA, please just let this go right over you.
Oh, well, it's not TSA, it's the British
Oh, okay.
version of TSA.
Alright.
It's a problem. But this time, I decided I was going to sacrifice a cheap pair of knitting needles so I could have my metal needles on the plane if they took them away. They didn't take them away this time. So I don't know if they changed their policy or if they just happened
I
to let
didn't-
me scoot through.
When we went, I had no problems going either way
Okay.
to Scotland or back with
When
my
you came
metal.
back, you
yeah,
had
with
metal
my
ones. So they may have changed the policy.
Yeah, I did have knitting on the needles, and I had it all wrapped up, and like
So they'd feel guilty if they took them
yeah.
away.
So I was hoping that they would be like, "Oh, we're not going to tear this apart on her," because I was thinking they would just slip the needle out, and I'd be like, "Oh no."
I have read stories where they just throw it away.
Yeah,
Yes, I have heard.
Yeah.
yeah.
I have always, when I've traveled, but I've always been traveling within the States, I just use wooden circulars because, first of all, I've been, the things that I've read have said, oh my gosh, you lose a needle and it's a
Yes.
straight needle
Yeah, forget
and
finding it on the
forget
plane.
finding it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's a good
yeah,
point.
that
The
would
only
so
thing that
be
ever
me.
concerns me though about when I go on a plane with circular needles is that they'd be like, "Yeah, you're gonna strangle someone with that."
Oh, don't give them ideas.
So I'm like, yeah, either way they're gonna think I have a weapon.
Do you walk in and go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah, yeah.
There's like 10 different ways you could kill somebody with them.
Yeah.
Knitting needles.
There are codes for that, people.
Right here.
There
Number one.
There are medical codes for that. I've never had to use them, thank goodness.
I did read
but-
where somebody put her straight needles, or maybe it was her circulars, the interchangeables, in like a pencil case, so it looked like pencils when it went through. I'm like,
oh,
there you
that's a
go.
good idea. I like that.
That
Just
makes
cap off
sense.
the end.
Yeah.
Maybe
uh-huh.
you take a certain
Yeah.
length scissor now,
Right,
too,
up to 3
so-
inches, which, again,
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a problem.
I only
yeah.
need a little tip. Sorry.
But, yeah, so everything that I've read is that it's basically at the discretion of the TSA agent that is
and if
Standing
their wife's
before
a
you.
knitter,
Yes.
that is
Her husband
scanning.
Yeah.
is a knitter,
Yeah.
the
significant other.
Have a
The
spare
protocol
hat made,
says-
so
yeah,
when they
there
come
you
through,
go.
oh look, I knit you a hat. Let this go through.
You might get
Bribery.
in jail for that, though.
Yeah, the
Bribery.
protocol, the protocol
Federally.
states that knitting needles are okay, but it's basically on the
TSA agent
TSA
standing
agent
before you.
standing before
I was
you.
on
yeah.
a plane in Mexico, and they wouldn't let me knit on the plane.
Oh,
What? Why?
They took, no, actually,
because
I
there are
take
10
that.
ways
They
you
took-
could kill somebody with those things.
They took the knitting stuff away and gave it back to us. And we got that.
But they say why?
They
What
were
was
just-
the reason?
They didn't say why. They didn't have to, I guess.
Yeah.
And
just
you
said
didn't
you're not
really
allowed to.
ask.
I probably would have gotten kicked off the plane because I would have been like, why? Why? Why are you taking that? Give it back to me. Well, if you can't tell me why, you can't have it. Just give it to me. Yeah, I would be the freak that they'd be like, get off the plane.
Yes.
Yes.
We would be watching you on nightly news.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Psychotic woman.
American
was bullied
citizen detained in Turkey.
because we took away her knitting.
Truth. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you. I was just curious about like knit. Not that I travel much in airplanes. It's mostly car, but you know, every once in a while for school we travel for a conference and
Right.
I
Well,
want to have my knitting with
on
me.
Facebook in the knitting threads, that's a fairly common question. It pops up, I bet, monthly.
Yeah. And
And
it's
it
even
probably
on their
because it changes
website.
all the time,
Oh,
you know,
gosh, yeah.
for
Yeah.
here versus
It's
other
even
countries.
it's even a question answered on the airlines websites because I've looked those up whenever I was traveling just to make sure.
Yeah. Goodness. All right, what's on your needles, ladies? We'll start again.
I
with you,
have
Crystal.
2 major whips. One is the
Beautiful.
Soldotna, yes, which I am into the body now. I separated for sleeves.
And you'll have to tell us about this because some
Oh,
people
yes,
may not know.
yes. So I'm a little concerned that my floats may not be quite okay here, but I will fix that in one way or another when time comes.
Block that out.
I hopefully I can block that out.
And if not, we're going to steak it.
Yes, we're gonna figure it out. Yeah, see, because I have a couple people that are very.
I don't want to be
they
here when that
improvise.
happens.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
afraid.
You just have to, like, drink a glass of wine before you come.
This could be a problem.
Wait, you don't want
This
to be
could be
drunk
a
when you're
big
cutting.
problem. So what they were saying I need to show you is
Oh, yes.
my counter. And I don't know if we can see it. It's a chain. It goes on the needle just like a stitch.
Are they getting
Like your beginning of round stitch marker. We're good.
Okay.
And then each loop has a number on it. And then there's a little clip so it counts up to 10, and then there's a little clip that you put on each one.
You move it as
You move it as
do
you
the
do your
tens.
tens.
I think it's ingenious.
So like this is on 2, so I'm on 22.
Or you
It would be
beavers
help-
could whip one up,
Yeah.
you know, so.
I feel like I would have that snagged on everything, and it would be more of a cursing issue for me.
It hasn't happened.
You know?
while we knit.
I know, but I mean, I just feel like I would have it snagged.
I just
all
have to make
inside
sure it's
of
over.
that.
I usually try to make sure it's over here. I'm not not real dexterous when I'm doing this. I'm not one. When I come to my beginning of the round, I have to fiddle with the stitch marker anyway. So it's just a matter of flipping it over here and fiddle with it. And these come in 2 sizes. The one I have is for larger needles. It also comes for smaller needles.
And is that an Etsy purchase or?
I believe it was an Etsy purchase. I will get you the link.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I have the link so that we can put it on there. But yeah, it really comes in handy when you're trying to count how many rounds you're doing. And I mean, definitely when I get to the sleeves, I want to do that because I want to make sure I have my sleeves the
Same
right.
number.
Or even like the number
Like-
of decreases you were doing.
Right. Oh, you can use. There's a whole video on different ways that you can use it. Because like if you have a pattern going, then you have a 6 repeat, and then you're supposed to increase when you get to 6.
Uh-huh.
Then you can do your increase, start over at 1.
Yeah.
You can. I'm using it to see how many rounds I end up doing. But yeah, they show you a myriad of ways that you can utilize it. I added a little extra stitch marker on here because the last time I used it, I had needed to go over 100.
Oh,
So
that's
You
I
started
just
over.
told me that I had 100. Yeah,
There you go.
and then went on
Nice.
from there. But yeah, so it really is nice.
And your colors are beautiful.
Thank you,
Oh my gosh.
still looks
Yeah.
like goldfish.
Miami Dolphins. Yeah.
Ah,
No.
there you go.
And then the other one is my mother's sweater.
Oh, you started it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because I want to have it done by her
Position.
birthday.
Yep.
Oh yes.
We'll get back to that.
Oh, Crystal.
So
Oh,
I'm
that's
not.
a beautiful
I'm not
color.
ready to split for sleeves yet.
Lifeline.
Yes.
Is that at the short
But
rows?
no, I didn't.
so that
okay.
you don't.
So I actually didn't do the short rows
Okay.
because I decided to shorten
we
the
hate
neck.
them.
No, I don't mind short rows. I decided to shorten the neck. My mom isn't a turtleneck person, and I roll mine down all the time. I'm built like my mother, so we don't have long necks. So I thought, this would just be an annoyance to her, so I shortened it to about the height
good
of
idea.
this one rolled
Like a
down.
mock turtleneck.
And then I decided that, well, if it's a mock turtleneck, I probably don't need the neck to stand up. It's going to do it on its
yeah.
own. So
Right.
why do the short rows? And so I
That's
I think I put the lifeline in where I started to do the increases.
Okay.
That's what a German short row is for, to make the collar
And
stand
it
up.
makes it stand up
Oh,
Oh,
better,
why
yeah.
was
Makes
I
it
thinking
higher
it
in the
was
back.
something to make the length of the back
I think
longer?
it probably does
I think
that,
it's both.
that
It,
too.
it just gives it the evenness
Right.
and then the dip. Because like this one, there are no short rows, and I can never tell what's front and what's back. So
Right.
I just put it on. Go.
I can tell what's front and back on this because the back is what got snagged on the dog. So that's the back.
Poor Monty.
So I have 19 repeats to do on this before I split for sleeves, and I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. So
And what
I have
wool
a
is
little
that you're
extra.
using?
This is acrylic. It's just from
Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby, yeah.
It's
And
very pretty.
I like
I like
this
that
because
It's very
this
soft.
takes like for the size I'm doing takes like 1,000 yards.
That's really nice.
So I only
yarn.
have to
like this
get like
yarn.
5 balls
Yeah.
instead of 10. So I'm not changing yarn out as much. That's always nice. No additional joints. And what I did since I didn't do the short rows is I put in a progress marker on the back. So
Hey, is that
I
the
have-
progress marker we got from Christy Glass
Probably.
for the unicorn
Unicow.
I think
cow?
it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cute.
So I have my progress going, and you can start to see where the increases are. I love it. I love this
Oh,
sweater.
this part,
Yes.
which was amazing how that just kind of like
it
happens.
happens.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Designers
how
are
people doing
amazing.
that? I'm like, it's like perfect. Like you would actually have sewn it. Like
Yeah.
that just it blows my mind that just doing blah 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 blah. Oh, sweater.
So this is the Turtledove pattern
Spastico.
by Espastrico.
I'm not even trying.
It's Melissa.
Well, I
From
know the
Spastrico.
very first time I became aware of a Spastrico. I'm sorry, I
Oh, no.
just don't do that. I was like, E-Space Tricot? What is E-Space Tricot? And then I heard somebody say Spastrico Turtledove, and I'm like, it's French. Just like the first time I saw La Jolla.
Oh,
Jolla. What is
Jolla.
La Jolla?
Jolla.
La Jolla, whatever,
La
yeah.
Jolla.
I'm sorry.
We're so sorry.
I apologize. I was not raised in a multicultural area, so I just kind of say it how I see it. And plus, I work with 3 to 6 year olds, so I speak phonetically.
Well, there you go.
That's my
That's
problem.
the real reason.
24 years of
that's the
reading
main
phonetically.
reason.
Yeah,
Several
that's
years
it.
ago, I went on a trip with some friends, and we were going to stay in La Jolla. And I'm looking on the map trying to find La Jolla because La Jolla is spelled Lahoya.
Uh-huh.
You know, like Oscar de la Hoya. And I could not find it on the map anywhere. And I think it was my sister that was like, you might try Lajolla. Yeah. I'm like, that's La Jolla.
Thank you. I'm not alone in that.
No, you're not alone in
But
this.
La Jolla was lovely. It was beautiful.
It was
out
beautiful.
there.
It's
Love
a
it.
gorgeous area. I had the opportunity to go there a couple times. It's gorgeous. Love it.
Nice.
Okay, so that's my whips.
Whips. All right.
You
I
try.
have whips that are here.
Are they actually on needles?
No.
Do they have colors?
It's a long list of orders.
Ah.
So when you get home, you're going to be casting on.
Yeah, so I have, this is a whip, another, the little version,
Ah.
but I have to, the band, the ties on my needles, which didn't make
What
it.
size needle is that?
2.
Those are the ones. Okay, you were talking about the 2s and.
Because the pattern that it comes with just says to use a needle and offers no size changes.
A needle.
So I
It's
made
pretty-
them,
Pretty thick wool for a 2,
yeah,
so they're really dense then.
and then, because they're supposed to be,
Yeah, they are.
substantial.
They are substantial.
So it didn't knit
Nice.
up to be like baby size. It's more like for 6 to 12-month-year-old, I guess. I don't have a kid. I have no idea.
I was going to say, with my big old boat feet, if I had a kid, that's the size they would need. I got big old boats.
So I keep sending messages to my sister.
And she answered
Measure
you, by the
Della's
way.
feet. Measure her feet. Tell me what her feet are. And like a week will go by. I'm like, seriously, can you tell me how long her feet are? And so I asked her once to measure her head, or no, her back, so I could do that little cardigan for her. And she sends me a picture of my mom holding Della and my dad with a metal tape measure. at the nape of her neck, measuring it down, and my sister's just laughing. 'Cause I'm like, okay, well that helps. I mean, so when I asked her to measure the length of, I was expecting another photo of like metal measuring tape
How about
against her
yardstick?
foot. And, yeah, I'm like, okay, whatever. So anyhow, this ended up being bigger than like for newborn. So I'm trying to manipulate the pattern and do math.
Ooh.
So I decreased the amount of stitches, which meant I had to decrease also the number in between the yarn overs for the, So I still think this is probably too big. But I don't have any kids, so I don't know how big their feet looks. I mean,
I don't remember. I mean,
and I keep, every time I see a patient at work, I'm like, ooh,
I broke
they're about
my-
the size of a kid I think that person's going to have. Let me,
So
I
if
should
any
run
of you
over
out
and measure
there
them.
make baby things, like feel free to send us some information on
Yeah.
what is the best
Send me a
gauge.
foot and
A foot.
and a measure.
No children were
And I'm
injured
trying-
in the making of
I'm trying
this
to think,
beauty.
how can I get like a cast of someone's child's foot so that I have them permanently, so I know. 'cause
I sent
I
you that
did read that
webpage.
one.
Did that not
Oh
help?
yeah.
It didn't, it's telling me that the size is actually bigger.
Oh no.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
dear.
wait, I don't want to go with a bigger needle. That's the opposite effect
Why don't you
that
take
I
your
want.
tape measure to a baby store? Where they
Well, I
sell
was
shoes?
contemplating
And
of
those
just
babies.
buying a whole range of booty sizes, and then I'm like, why would I do
There's
that?
a toddler class at our school. I could go
Start
down there.
measuring.
Okay, I'll go down and
I'd be
start
like,
measuring.
take a picture of their
Measure.
foot. This kid is this old.
I'll set up
and
a-
here's how big his feet
But
are.
then you.
But that's
that would
toddler.
just be a sample of one. You need a range or something.
I know.
So for my
I'm
kindergartners,
just gonna go to a daycare and be like, can I observe for the day? And I'm just gonna go around with everybody's feet.
I don't know.
I'll set
Length of
up
the
a
nape of their
measuring
neck.
activity in my class to measure children's feet, and then I'll send them down to the toddler class,
Yeah.
and then they can measure the toddler's
Could
feet.
be a little project.
A little
There we
research.
go.
There we go.
Yeah, research project. There you go.
I have that baby book of patterns for you, and then I think there are some booties in there, so there might be some.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm, if the pattern only gives me one size, that's, I don't know how big or
Think of
small
how
for babies.
Great you're gonna feel when you figured out like the pattern, and maybe you'll write your own pattern.
If someone already wrote it though.
No, they didn't, because you keep having to do the
Yeah, but
math.
it's their design.
How many hat patterns
So
are out
I
there?
know.
Change the
that's
design
true.
elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Change the
I'm
stitch.
trying to figure out how to do it in the round because this
Tinkerbell
whole like
pom pom to the front instead of a tie.
Ooh.
And a pom pom with a bell inside it, so when they walk, they jingle. That's not annoying.
I am gonna try to figure out how to do this in the round because sewing, I hate seaming. So I will figure that part out anyways.
All right.
All
So
right,
that's
is
all I
that
have.
What do you got?
it? Okay. So I'm still gift knitting, sort of. I got another one from you too. What is it? Okay. So I started just a black beanie.
Got lots of light.
Yes, but these are the colors I used for Zeke's Batman hat. And so I'm gonna use these to make a striped beanie for his dad.
Oh, so
So
he'll match him.
he'll match.
Yes.
I thought about putting the Batman logo on there, which he'd be fine with, but
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with how it turned out. So who knows? I may still slap one on there. So I'm working on a hat, and then I have the mittens, and then I bought this yarn from Destination Yarns last year. It's underneath the Christmas tree. I wanted to do a Christmas thing, but I was looking in.
Superwash merino wool.
Yes.
And nylon.
Bless you.
Bless you.
So there's a little keyhole here. That
Right.
was fun to make because it is Miss Marple's,
Ah.
I think is what it's called. Yes, Miss Marple's scarf. So this is going to be here, and then you just knit, and then the other one tucks in here and comes out. So this was
it's-
really fun to do.
So
That
it's a
would be fun.
spade.
Yeah, it's right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's a spade.
Yeah.
So what I did is it calls for worsted, and I'm trying to use yarn in my stash. So this
Oh,
is
what a silly thought.
I know. So this
I
is the
love that
Destination
stuff,
yarn, and then this is Sweet Georgia. Sorry, yeah, it's all tangled. So every once in a while I try to do my own, because I'm still such a like me knitter, but I had to do an increase, and I saw your little thing.
Oh,
so
so
what
you
I
tied it-
did is I hooked these together, and then this is where I had to stop my decreases. So now I have to do like 20 centimeters or something like that before I decrease. So increase 20 and then a decrease. So I did the same thing. It was every
Does it
sixth
make a
row.
curve?
Yeah, and so it kind of hugs on the shoulders. So when I would do a row, I'd move one, and then I'd move another one, and then when I got to the yellow palm, that was my increase. So I kind of took your idea. Yeah, so that helped me to stay on track. But when I look at this, I'm like, you did that? You figured that out? So I'm like, I keep playing with that because that was kind of fun to do. So hopefully I'll have a little Christmas scarf if I can keep up with it. Because right now I'm like, I want to get all this other stuff done. But I want to be done in time for our New Year's Eve cast on. So mittens, the scarf, and the hat are the big things I need to get through before Christmas. And then back to me.
I have not even done me yet.
I should have had this ready.
Me is paused and Mom has taken
Take it
over.
over. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple.
Ooh, I like
color.
that color.
This is Guernsey Girl. Partway done.
Oh,
Look at that.
whoa.
It's a stand-up collar, and it's meant to be a cardigan, but I'm turning it into Henley.
Henley.
Yeah. So,
See that stitch pattern?
and it's Shalimar yarn, which I bought like 10 years ago or something like that.
Gorgeous.
A long time ago. So I'm just hoping I have enough to finish the arms.
Now, why is it
Why is
open?
it big open
Yeah.
on the
Well,
side?
Okay, so it's supposed to be done in the round,
Uh-huh.
from the bottom up,
Okay.
and I like
Oh
the
my
way
gosh, feel that.
the twisted rib comes
that
out
nice?
when you do it in the round.
Right.
Twisted rib, yes.
Which I think
But-
that's what this is too, right?
I
Okay.
wanted to do the sleeves from the top down on a straight needle because I'm so much faster on a straight needle. So after I did this in the round, I just split it. To do it
So then you'll start the sleeve at the top flat,
flat.
and then
Then I'll just sew the whole thing up.
sew it up.
Okay, so okay,
How do you feel
you're-
about that?
So you're knitting the whole sweater on straight needles. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, except for down here.
Right.
Which
Okay.
you did in the round.
Yes.
Okay.
And then will you, when you get to the neck, will you reconnect it in the round, or are you gonna
No.
seam that as well?
No, this is
Henley,
is
so
you
it's
are
meant to
oh,
be
it's
open.
Henley. It's meant to
It's
be open.
Henley.
Gotcha.
I'm knitting the bands across.
Okay. I was
Okay.
gonna say.
Like her sweater she's wearing
Right.
now.
Okay.
Right.
Have you done this pattern before? The
No.
Guernsey girl? Okay.
No.
That's really cute.
The Guernsey girl, a la Allison.
Yes.
Because whenever you're Guernsey, I think of that movie about the Guernsey potato peeling pie and book society.
Which was a
Oh,
great
yeah.
book. I
Yeah.
love that.
It's
I'm
great.
like partway into the first season of that.
Oh, what is
So-
this? Cable Batman.
So this is something that reminds me of a baseball sweater. It's called Vireo.
Yeah.
And so as you can see, doing it on straight needles. So you
I
just
do
do
like
the
that too.
cable part in here and Tarsha up the sides.
Intarsia, I need to actually need to watch a video on Intarsia, so maybe that Batman hat wouldn't have turned out the way it did.
Batman.
So
And wait, she's not done
The
yet.
gray
Wait,
one.
there's more.
the gray was a Barocco Tuscan tweed, and the white was an old Ella Ray I had. So this is actually a sweater I did years ago.
Traveling and knitting.
In
Like
a
it.
Malabrigo. However, it's in my works in progress because I wanted to show you the before because I'm going to dye it.
What?
Oh.
Okay, so I didn't,
I like that.
alternate the
sweater.
skeins of
I want that pattern.
color like you're supposed to do in
I
hand dyes.
thought you did that intentionally.
Yeah.
And
I
I
like
do
it.
not like
Oh, okay.
the
greener one.
purple
gotcha.
versus the green. So much so that I have only worn this twice. So I figured, well, if I'm not going to
Wear
wear
it.
it, so
Why not
Suzanne
try?
from Designing Woman said use a liquid dye in indigo and leave it in there very little time just to kind of even out the color. So we'll see what happens.
Oh,
Because you're not wearing it anyway.
Because I'm not wearing it
Right,
anyway.
right.
To be continued.
To be
That's kind of neat.
Oh, wow.
I do want that pattern.
It's, yes,
What's it called?
You know, write that.
it's in my Ravelry thing, and I can't remember what it's called.
All right.
But it was a really nicely written pattern, whatever it was.
And that looks
I
like
should have
something
had-
that would be nice at work
Yeah.
because it's light enough that it's not.
There's actually a lot more shaping in here than you'd realize.
Ah.
And it's done multi-directional, so.
And you just pick up the edge and then go down for the back of the sweater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome.
I forgot to show the last time my work in progress was the woolen honey. So
That's
I
right.
want
Right.
to show my
Oh, God.
progress on this. There it is. There is my woolen honey. It has been ripped out. I had it all the way down
She had it
off the
almost-
needles. And that night, na 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 na, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye. So yeah, so I love this yarn. It's too nice of yarn not to be something good. So
Maybe it needs
whether
to go back to being
possibility,
what that.
yeah. So it could very well become possibility. But I've also started looking at other fingering weight yarn sweaters. But I'm like, right now that is
Just needs to
it's-
go nine-nine.
Yeah. So it's bagged up, caked up. I have my
In
marker in
timeout.
there. I know what it is. So we are just gonna
It's
let.
resting.
But
Let
she
that
needs
be.
to find a pattern that she falls in love with that has more shaping to
Yes.
it.
We've
than...
decided she's not a boxy sweater girl.
I love boxy sweaters.
Yeah.
She's drawn to boxy
I
sweaters
am.
until they're on her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then-
it's
yeah.
it's not good.
So
So.
you know what that means? You need to start designing your own sweaters. I mean, you've made
Yeah,
enough of them.
Not
that you can
happening.
do it.
So just that was the sweater.
She
It
finished
just-
it.
yeah, I
finished
it
it off her
finished
needles,
it.
and she ripped it
It
out.
just maybe I need to be more careful about picking my size. Maybe I should take a sweater making class so I might actually know what I'm doing. I don't know, but I am. Every time I look at a sweater, I'm like, oh, I love it, and I look at more pictures. I'm like, it's boxy, but I need to do
maybe
it.
you need to
is
just-
the size.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the ease. I'm trying to
Or you
look
need to do
more
what
into
did you
the
say?
ease.
Taper it.
Right?
Just,
Yeah.
just change the
Or
pattern
fit
at the bottom.
That,
and
that
taper
pattern
it.
apparently is just a recipe for some people, and you and Allison need to work together and
You would
figure
think
this out.
Collaborate
I
and
don't
make a
follow
new-
patterns, but when it comes to knitting, I'm like, oh, it says to do this, but I'll go up a needle size. Sure.
You're not baking. You're cooking.
I know.
Cooking, you can just throw anything.
Dave's
in.
the cook. I'm the baker, though.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I get you there because
I
that's
know.
me.
My husband would disagree with that. Being a cook.
So yeah, so those I just had to throw that in
Yeah.
case any of you were like, "Where's the woolen honey?" It's right there.
Yeah.
So
Yikes.
That's all I have.
all right.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
now
Acquisitions?
acquisitions.
The
Bag?
only acquisition I
Mhm.
really
Oh, I want to see this.
is I was at a craft show, and with my roommates, we were vendors, and I don't know, it was one of those days where I spent a lot of time in the little girls' room. And I might have had to do something to do with the fact that I had like 3 beverages in front of me at any given moment. I don't know. And the 31 lady was there, and I walked by. I love 31 bags, but
That's what this is.
if I don't actually see it, then the measurements just don't correlate for me. So they have a new line of the Be Creative, and this is one of their newer bags. It's I don't remember exactly what the name of it is. You'll find it. It's oval and falling into Jen's centerpiece, and it has pockets here, a pocket in the front, a pocket on the side. Has places for
Double
pencils, pens, double points,
point
needles,
needle.
you know, whatever you want. And then inside,
And she's totally not on the camera.
I know I'm not on the camera. It's just a big,
That's a sweater, a chunky
Yes.
weight sweater.
well, but it's only to the yoke. But there's
Okay.
also an extra ball of yarn
Yeah.
in there and a couple other things in there.
Before you sit, like, how does it carry? I mean, is it more on your arm?
It's more on your arm.
All right, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if it was a shoulder carry
It's
or
a
an
2
arm.
separate little handles.
Right, and that I probably didn't realize because that probably would not have been my favorite thing, but it's okay.
Just get a
It's okay.
a
Yeah.
snap and put there.
So cute.
It's not even. I would better have liked to have something on my shoulder, but
It feels
This is
semi-water resistant.
yes, yeah,
Like I think if it were somewhere
lined,
it
yes.
would repel anything.
yeah. It's not cloth. It is lined, you know, with the plastic or the water, you know, resistant
Yeah, and
stuff.
there's still
so
room in there.
What
Like
was
you
yeah.
it?
said.
What was it originally designed to hold?
It's under their Be Creative.
Be Creative, so just the
It is for
It is for
crafting.
crafting, yes.
Yeah.
They have several items in their Be Creative line now. There's a bigger rectangular one, which might be a hostess only kind of thing. This one, and then there's small accessory type things too. But yeah, no, my sweater's in there, an extra ball of yarn, the rest of this ball of yarn, a little extra. And,
It's like Mary
you know,
Poppins.
so yeah, I mean, there's a
It's your
fair amount of
carpet bag.
stuff in here for, I mean, because it doesn't look huge, but yet at the same time,
It all fits nicely.
it all fits nicely. Yeah. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
that's probably
Very
my,
nice.
that and the yarn for my mom's sweater, which is the, Yarn Bee,
Mm-hmm.
are pretty much my acquisitions.
I have none.
No. Okay.
You been good, girl?
All right.
No, but
Well, talking about the Discovery Yarn Tour again, I had a part of that basket was a gift card, so I went up to the Artful Yarn. Oh my gosh, Kathy is a hoot up there. I mean, Chardon.
Chardon.
Yes, Artful Yarn. It's just so much fun being up there. And in that basket were 2 skeins of Sarah Made Me a Playlist, and I bought a third because I saw the Super Simple Summer Sweater by Johi Locatelli. Thank goodness I knew how to pronounce her name prior to my La Jolla. And so I want to do the super simple, and looking through the project pages, I love Ravelry, how you can go into projects, and I actually searched for the Squish DK, and there were 3 or 4 patterns where someone made because it's a worsted weight, I think. No, it's a
DK.
DK.
Is it? No, this is DK, but I'm trying to think. I think the sweater's worsted is what
Oh,
the
okay.
pattern's written in. But she used this, and she's got it on. I'm like, okay, your body style's similar to mine. It's a little boxy, I know. So I gotta watch my size. But I just have to figure out the contrast color. Like, is it gonna be something within here or something like totally like contrasting? But that is my goal for this, is to become the super simple summer sweater. And I was so excited to see 1 skein of this left. So now I have 3 of that.
Hey, when you're looking at that pattern, look at the schematics.
What? Really? Like
and
swatch too?
No, don't be ridiculous.
Don't take it too far. Don't go that far. My goodness.
Choose your size.
Who am I
Look at
hanging
the
out with?
schematics and
Yeah.
see what works.
if it's a rectangle or not. If it's
Right,
a rectangle,
yeah.
push it away.
It's a
Or plan on tapering.
And while I was up there, I don't know, you guys may have seen this, but I think they classified this as a stitch stopper or something. Yeah, a stitch stopper. And I honestly think all it is like a sunglass. Like,
Oh.
like something
To
you
hang
would put
your
glasses on.
Oh,
Somebody
right.
came up with the idea and put a
Look
cute
at that
little,
cute little
yeah.
sheep on
Can
there.
you imagine stitching that sheep on there? My goodness.
Felted? It's felt. Oh no, it's like
Yeah. So you slide them on the ends, and it just keeps your stitches on where they need to be.
Oh, those are French knots. I can't make those.
Yeah, and it was like too cute.
I can't make French knots. I mean, I can't.
But literally, I think that's
It's
just
adorable.
something for your eyeglasses.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
like,
something you need glasses to look at.
I know. I just love the ingenuity of people. When
I
they
like
see
it
things.
because it's mustard.
It is a great
It is
color.
mustard.
It is. So that was part of that shopping trip, as well as I just kind of got into the mode of shopping. The lady at the checkout counter got me convinced I must live, or I cannot live without a little finger stitch counter. So you just push the little button and it keeps
I have to
track.
admit, I
Row
bought one
count?
and I
Row counter?
Yeah.
never use it.
I have
Row
a row counter, the little
yeah, row
red
counter.
one that you
Yeah.
click
Yeah.
the thing, and I do use it.
So you just put it on and. But it's very sensitive, so you
yeah, I
gotta
was
be
gonna say
careful
I
with
probably
that.
would have like touched my face, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden I get 10 more rows.
And then I thought, you know what, this might get me to swatch too, but,
No, but it's really cute.
it's really cute. It's
Or
by
you could use it as a frame.
yeah.
Put a little picture in there.
Yeah.
I think
That's
if
a
I
great
have these
idea.
tools, it's like people
No,
looking
you
and
know,
go,
I
oh,
have-
she must swatch.
I
like,
have this too,
poser.
much bigger, and you know where it is? It's hanging on the corkboard because
Oh.
it's too pretty to use.
Yeah, super cute. And then a dear friend gave
Yes,
me some
we
really
have
cool notes
those.
from her trip to Scotland.
Courtesy of my
We
cousin
all
in
got
Scotland.
those.
She-
Yes.
Thank you, cousin.
Thank you.
And if you couldn't think that I could read La Jolla, I'm not going to be able to read the back of this because I think it's Japanese. I don't know, but it's beautiful. it's lovely.
We're gonna frame
Yeah.
that in her frame.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, and then just that's it. All right.
Hey, man,
Oh, look at that little bag. It's got
So
chicken on it.
This was actually a gift
Oh,
because at the yarn retreat I went to at Langley,
That's an odd fabric. What is that?
Whidbey Island. It's like I don't know, rubberized. They
Yeah.
sell these at So Much Yarn in Seattle. But anyway, because I helped
Bucket?
rescue
Really?
somebody's scarf from some nasty fallen stitches. So it's from Impwear.
is it reversible? It looks like
And
it.
it
I mean,
is
it's
reversible.
so well sewn.
Ooh.
Jealous.
And it came in all kinds of patterns, but this is the
yeah.
one the lady gave me, which was really nice.
nice.
I like the
Beautiful.
chicken.
And I bought this fingering weight at the yarn shop in Whitby, whose name I can't remember except it had the word pearl in it. And I bought several skeins of that.
Oh,
Just because I fell in love with
gray?
it.
Is
Kind
it
of
brown? Is
strange,
it?
gray, browny, whatever
Wait a
color.
minute. It's grayish.
Oh, it's
It's grayish.
It's oilcloth.
Oilcloth. Oh,
This is not your grandma's oilcloth, so it's a
no,
new.
it's not your grandma's oil.
It's 100% cotton laminated, water-based, urethane heat set
Don't lick it.
coating.
Don't eat it.
It's PVA free.
So you
Oh.
can eat it. No.
So you can lick it if you want
You
to.
can store things in the fridge in it.
Now, do you have a sweater in mind for that gray?
Yes, I do. The Westwood that we saw in Vermilion. Remember that?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna
That's
be
the
beautiful.
pattern I got, right? That
I
sweater?
think so.
I don't know. I don't remember if you did or not.
Can't remember.
Okay, so
Foxy.
I'm
It's gonna
like-
work. It's gonna work.
we're gonna be, they're gonna be talking more at the next podcast about the sweater, which I won't be at. But so this is the sweater
Belly.
that I bought yarn for, but I wanted this color palette. So I found at Black Locust, I found this lovely turquoise that's going to be the dark.
The blackest part.
And it was supposed to be the top, but it wasn't enough. And then the top of the sweater is going to be this, which is from 3 Irish girls I got at Harps and Thistles.
Similar to what you're wearing.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that at the time.
Yeah, but it's a little more.
Plummy.
Yeah, and then this kind of grayish
Yeah.
is squishy, also from Harps and Thistles. That's going to be the light part.
Oh my
Here.
Ah.
Now, this is a boxy sweater, which I'm going to make longer, fitted, set in sleeve, and change the collar. But other than that, it's
Other
in
than
the
that,
belly.
she's making
Oh,
it in the
she's
belly.
also gonna make it a
sitting
hen
with
lane.
her when she
Yeah, and she's
starts
gonna
doing
sneak
this.
it and
And
put
you're gonna-
buttons or zippers in it.
And then
Reversible.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to add this color across the middle of the pattern and then put a little line of the purple in the center. So, but other than that, it's in the belly.
We're not worthy.
So, that's my acquisitions.
Wow.
So if you have any questions about sweater making, please contact Allison. We wing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow, very
See
beautiful.
that? Because in certain, there's not blue in it, but I could.
Yeah,
There
like
is.
right- yeah, a little bit of
Every
blue.
once in a while, I swear I see a hint
Like a
of that
royal.
blue.
Yeah.
But I think it's a purpley royal kind of.
Pretty.
But you know, when the light hits it certain ways, because when I like, oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
variegated.
Yeah.
And see there, you can.
Hopefully, it's a little different than what
Oh,
it
it's
is.
very different.
Very
Okay,
different.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna be gorgeous.
So I want to know what this is sitting over here.
Okay. So, this is a Scottish knitting belt.
It's a little educational hour right now.
And we'll scooch in so that Allison
You
can
can
be
come over.
more.
You heard already that I like to do straight needle knitting.
Knitting knitting.
Knitting needle.
Knitting needles for knitting. And this is the older way of doing it
From Scotland.
from Scotland. I don't
And
have a whole
why
lot.
would that be something you would know how to do?
Because I'm from Scotland.
That's right.
A long time ago. Granted.
So you were made in Scotland.
I was being
You
I'm
were
not
being-
gonna. Okay. So remember eons ago, knitting was not done for relaxation as we do it,
As a stress reliever.
but was for necessity and was not done in leisure time sitting down. It was done while you were walking or working or whatever.
I
And
can't
in this
imagine.
Scottish knitting belt, it's also
It has a bunch of holes in it.
a levered knitting technique, which is what I do now. I actually stick it in my waist or my pocket or whatever. But you could use this and knit as you walked. And you would have some kind of holder of yarn. This is a kind of
It's a Christmas ornament.
fancy one, but you would be able to knit and walk.
So
like
your
this.
yarn would be held in here because it's got a little hole,
Right.
so that you could walk around and you're not jabbing yourself in the side because you have it put
Right.
in a hole in this padded little waist belt.
And you could even do knitting in the round with these. Because the Shetland shawls are very big, even though
Yes.
they're lightweight, and you could do your square shawl, the edges or whatever.
So what kind of work could you possibly be doing while doing this? That warrant.
Well, there are pictures of the women carrying the peat in the baskets from the
Okay.
peat fields.
Yeah.
Or the fish
So en route traveling.
traveling. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Poor things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I can almost, like, with how prolific they would be, like, the amount of yarn that would be stored in this, like, they would probably fly through it.
Well, this was a decorative thing
Oh,
from
okay.
the International Exhibit in Glasgow in 1930, but there would be other, more practical ones.
Oh, okay.
Basically a bag,
Right.
in here, and you can
Right
still
off
buy
the
these.
sheet. They're
Right.
knitting it right off the sheet that's
Just have
walking
the
next
sheet
to 'em.
walking with you.
You
Come
can
on,
still
buddy.
buy these in various styles and whatnot, and it comes from an older tradition of a knitting sheath where there used to be like a wooden thing that had a hole in it that you stuck the needle in, and that would attach to your waist.
Okay.
But this was the Shetland version of it.
So this is what I would need to do if I wanted to continue to walk on the treadmill while knitting. So my husband
It would
didn't
work.
think that I would get the yarn all tangled up in the
So Helen Tinsdale, I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She is reputedly the world's fastest knitter right now,
Right.
and she uses one of these.
Oh,
Because
okay.
she uses a levered knitting style, like this, and she flips her yarn with just the finger. Like that.
Okay, she flicks it. Okay. Cool.
And
So-
you can buy these in different sizes.
And this
Okay,
stuff
that's
is
what I was
all
gonna say,
still
size-wise.
available.
It's all still available.
So people still use it. It's very
Mhm.
prolific still.
In fact, June Hemmings Hyatt, who wrote The Principles of Knitting, the Bible of Knitting, I highly recommend that book. She first learned about this on a trip to Scotland and fell in love with it and uses it
To this day.
exclusively now. No, I don't know exclusively, but a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Yeah, if I did that on the treadmill, I would be using those codes because I am not graceful enough. I would be impelled. Yeah, I become Dave. Dave to go home. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so neat.
Very
That is very
cool.
cool. We have to play with that. See how that works.
You're welcome to try it.
I would impale myself.
So do you guys, like, once all these gifts are done and everything, I mean, the Novelli's coming up, are there any future, like, ideas of what you want to do? And
My order of business right now is Mom's Sweater. Depending on when I get done with that, depends on how much work I get to do on Soldotna. Novelli, of course, will be the next priority, and then after that, I have to finish Soldotna. So,
Well, we also have that yarn that's coming from
yes, we
Canada
have yarn
Yes.
coming from
From
Canada.
that we were
Blue brick?
supposed
Blue
to
brick.
be received by now and knitting, but
which originally we were slightly disappointed that we didn't have it, but we're all confirming that we're glad it's not
Right,
here
because
because we have too much other
I have
stuff.
so much yarn order knitting that Christmas knitting, forget it, it's not happening.
Yeah.
'cause
So
I-
we ordered a a gradient from Blue Brick Yarns in Canada, and
in October,
not
first week.
yeah, like first week of October. Not realizing, I mean, it said right on the website it takes 4 to 5 weeks, so we thought we're fine. Not
we wanted to start it
realizing,
December 1st together.
yes, not realizing that they had, I don't know, some kind of release or something that was extremely well received and has backed them up 3 to 4 months on their die to order. Found that out the hard way, unfortunately. And I will say that their yarn looks like it's going to be gorgeous. Everyone that has said anything about it says it's absolutely wonderful yarn, well worth the wait. I would just suggest to any company that has a backup like that, that they find a way to let the people who have ordered their yarn know before they start getting
Yes.
before they start getting nasty emails. Well, and I
That's
feel
why
bad because
we have her in charge of the order.
Don't give it to me.
when I was
can just
when I was
imagine.
looking into what was going on, somebody said you get better updates on her Facebook page. That's nice to know now. You know, so
We
and
don't
her
care.
and
We
her
still want it.
her
Yes.
her website has changed in that now she has an inventory section and a die to order, but even that does not state that, well, we're not going to get to October's orders until January.
Is this a new company?
I don't
I mean,
know.
it's growing pains or
I don't
something?
Yeah.
think. I mean, I think that could be part of it because there was something about they've moved to a new facility, but there was. They keep saying Wingspan has put us behind X number of months or whatever. I just feel that there should be something more specific on your website that says we're not going to get to this for several months. So if this is something you're wanting right away, you probably shouldn't order from us. I mean, as much as you don't want to turn away business,
Right.
you're not creating a wonderful business atmosphere the way it is. And I mean, now that I know that, we've made the decision that we're going to wait, and that's fine. We may or may not have made that decision
Had we known it
had we had
initially.
known ahead of time. So I mean, just a word to anybody who's entrepreneurial. You know, an email.
Communication.
An email would have worked wonders, because if you would have sent something to us that said, oh, you know, this is going to take a while, we could have said, oh, we could have had this discussion and said, oh, okay, no problem. But what I was going to say is, I feel bad because on her Facebook page then, she had a picture of her staff and she said, you know, we take all these orders very personally. This is a very personally run business, and people have been just very nasty about some of the delays, I guess. And you know, everyone
that's not
takes
called
it to
for.
heart.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm sorry, as much as I love it, it's yarn.
Right.
You know, it is
It's
just,
not like
it
that.
is yarn. And this isn't necessarily, you know, the only way that we can clothe ourselves. You know, there's stores right down the street for most of us. And so, you know, that is definitely uncalled for, but I also think that she could have prevented the vast majority of that with a little clearer communication.
Well, if it is an upcoming company, then these are
Yeah.
all part.
This is all part of learning.
And
So, yes.
I can't wait to see the yarn.
Yeah,
sure it's gonna be
I'm very
amazing.
excited to see it because I think it is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's
Darcy, do you have any plans other than your list of things you have to make?
No, I worked 10 hours overtime, so overtime is taking over.
Okay. Yeah.
That you.
so. The Novelli is your next thing.
Novelli is the next new thing. If I probably will be behind everyone else. Just,
Yeah.
I mean,
not-
I love doing
it's
all
not
this.
a race.
This is fun.
It's not a race.
But I won't be knitting for me for quite some time. Socks. I would like to knit some socks. I've got a bunch of one skein. No, I'm not buying them because I can make those puppies.
Depending on my hands, like right
Yeah.
now,
Mine
I'm
are getting
hoping
tired.
like the smaller the needle, like maybe it's just if I pace myself better. And I know there's great information out there about, you know, stand up, move around, pace. You know, and I set my little timer for like 20 minutes, and sometimes I'm like, oh, reset, still knitting. But like I'm trying to like. I don't want to ruin my hands and my arms, but it's like sometimes, like last weekend, because it was Thanksgiving weekend.
It's passion. You
Oh my
love it.
gosh! Like from Thursday night to Sunday, I was like smoke coming off of those needles. I was just cranking it out. And
Because look how little and cute they are.
very nice. But also, we're gonna look into it. But it's the Two Pearls in a Pod mentioned Solder Village Knitting Retreat, and that's in February. And so it's just about 2.5 hours from here, over in Maumee area. So we're gonna look into that and see if that's something that we want to escape in the middle of the dark days of winter.
Well, and in April, we're flying to New Orleans.
We meaning her husband.
My husband and I. His brother is getting married in New Orleans, so that will all kind of airfare and all that jazz.
So
We'll
that's
see.
the only thing I can think of. And you're heading out again, right?
I'm heading to Seattle for Christmas.
Nice.
Yes. And Egypt and Jordan in March.
Ooh.
But our world traveler.
I don't think there's any yarn over there.
Wait. No, somebody posted on one of the knitting websites that there is a child's sock found, and I want to say it was in
that's-
Egypt.
That was the nail binding. Yeah.
Is that what?
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh! I mean, the
1700 years old.
colors were
Yeah.
still
Wow.
there, and it looked like something I made because the ends are hanging out. Like, yeah, right here. Look, there's an end. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I could totally relate to that sock. Absolutely.
So I have plans to make the Westwood out of that yarn I just showed you. I had knit this lovely, lovely sweater called Girl on Fire, and then turned out I couldn't wear it because it's too itchy, so I'm going to redo that one, and I'm again going to do it in red.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we are thinking about podcasting again towards the end of December,
After Christmas.
and we just hope you all have great holiday season and love and light and peace to all of you, and
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Absolutely. All right.
Bye.
Bye. 100 subscribers! We are so excited. We have finally reached 100 subscribers, and we are so thankful for each and every one of you. So stay tuned. We are going to have a giveaway. More information will follow in the next podcast. But thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.